So welcome back to my channel, Bob's Garage. If you haven't seen, I'm going to put a link to the first part of this series on my 2000 Bandit Model 65 chipper. First video was me getting it running again. Bought it as a runner, but only on 3 of the 4 cylinders, one cylinder with no compression. So I've got that taken care of, and I've probably used it for about 2 hours now, a little bit more than I wanted to, but I found a few things, so I'm going to go through some of the repairs now. So I'll show you one thing. When I got this going, the wiring was terrible, and I kept on having low voltage. So I just thought it was just simply the battery discharged, but it's only 2 years old. The wiring up here is terrible. So I made a couple changes. On the ammeter, there's a wire, don't know if you can see that well enough, but there was a wire right on this ammeter that was loose. It was just sitting wrapped here. So this wire goes to the power starter relay. This wire here goes to the output of the generator, in this case an alternator. Well, that's a bit of a problem. They don't like, the manual says that you're not supposed to. So there's a little rectifier right down there. Don't know if you can see that. Right there. Yeah, right there. And it's cooled through the airflow across the motor. Well, having it with no output, it's the same as having your battery disconnected. So not good. Wiring, like I said, is terrible. I fixed this when I was reconnected it. When I was doing that, I found the ammeter is completely gone. Like there's nothing inside. It's an open circuit. So that didn't make any difference. Haven't ran it since then. You know, the simple solution to keep it running would be to jumper the 2 wires together. But I'm going to fix it. I'm going to put another ammeter in place. And when I start looking, low cranking, every now and then things got a little bit hot. But you look at these lines now, I'm not a good judge, but I suspect, is it on there? It doesn't say, can't see there anyways, there's something on there. But it's probably a 4-gauge wire, but you've got these mechanical connections for the battery posts. You can see how much people have been clamping on. That's probably just the normal way of running this, is charge the battery up and run it till it goes dead. So that's not good. And when you get over here, I already cleaned up the corrosion that was on this starter relay. So that's the wire that I was showing you that comes from the ammeter. So that would basically be the circuit that powers the or charges the battery, and that's of course the starter. You can see an S right there. But look at this wire. It's not great shape. Insulation's pulled back. Back here you can see, I don't know what that is, but there's indications of this getting hot. That connection's also bad, so you're generating a lot of extra resistance. So all that's got to be cleaned up. These connections are poor, the wires are poor. The grounds doesn't look too bad, but it's the same issue. You know, insulation's pulled back. So I got some replacement lines on, going to a 1-gauge wire. Wish I could check the size. And I replaced this line from the starter relay down to the starter itself. That's for that. For the ignition, nothing but simple crimp connectors, no weather tight protection. This is all open. That's from that's the ignition. This is the ammeter, but it's really poor. So pretty much every piece of the wiring's got to be redone and proper weather tight connectors put on there. So I got a bit of work. It's going to be tearing it all out, all the wiring, and replacing all with better connectors and weather tight connectors, and replace all these starting cables as well. So I'm not sure if you'll find that terribly interesting, but we'll just go through it. I think the biggest issue is going to be trying to get the alternator to work again. I mistakenly thought it was. I charged the battery up, got 14 or 12.47 volts. Well, it's just a fully charged battery. I should have been looking for somewhere around 13.1, 13.2. So probably means I'm going to hopefully the alternator itself is okay, but I may have to pull off the rectifier. So I got a little bit of work to do there, but first things first is getting all the cables replaced so I can try start again and then measure what the what if there's any power being generated by the alternator. Okay, so now I've had it running for a while, so I kind of did this out of sequence because, like I said, I wanted to get it into use. I fixed the motor so that I could get it done, but that was basically, I checked a few things over, that's it. Well, now I've had a chance where I ran it, and now I can go and clean it off. So I found a bunch of things that need to be repaired. The motor, I'm going to go back in and take a look at the valve clearance. So it was popping of the exhaust, which is typically an issue with the valve seals not being, the valve seating not being quite tight enough. I'm going to check. With that in mind, I thought, well, maybe the clearance might have changed a little bit as well, assuming they might be a little carboned up or rusty. So I'm going to recheck it, but it ran great, ran smooth. When it was revved up, it burbled at idle. I found issues with the linkage here. This one here, just right sloppy. Same thing for some other pieces as well. This right worn out. Found when I was taking a look at the anvil, the blades were fairly sharp, but the anvil needs to be adjusted. So cool part about this piece here, you use the jack stand to lift up and block open the in-feed roller. You can do it or to make adjustments, so it's kind of neat. So I got to check that. Needs an oil change, new filter. Like I said, lots of little things. Jack stand itself worn out, wrong size pin. The crank is, you can see the pin on that is gone, so you got to replace that, keeps falling off. Just a lot of worn out metal all over the place. A few little cracks on, I won't show you this, but a few little cracks here and there. Not big stuff, but certainly needs repair. You know, obviously cosmetic stuff like straightening out the fenders, but all in all, and I've already done some repairs when I had the auger apart here, or sorry, the chute off. I greased it, but a little bit of adjustment here and there. Nothing in the electrical works. The ammeter doesn't work, the hour meter doesn't work. Very little blow by on this mower, like none. I got one little leak in the one of the inspection covers for the valve train. So when I get that part, I'll fix that. It has rubber O-rings for the bolts. There's now used copper, but you know, a crack up here. But other than that, not much. Oh yeah, I got to replace the wires. So other than that, not too much problem at all. The fuel pump worked great. I'm going to cap these in so I don't get any dirt and debris in there. I think I'll keep that there for emergency. So I'm going to do what typically do in the beginning of most other videos. I'm going to start doing the pressure washing. one other thing I found out was this takes, so this is a 1999, takes was it 10W30 motor oil, and SCSA or SC equivalents. ESF is pretty much current now. So the same oil you put in the engine, you put in the hydraulic system. And this is also something, probably shouldn't have used it very much, but it was milky. So I got to get that changed out along with the filter. So I'm going to also have to change it's got an oil bath air cleaner, so change that oil out as well. So I'll take care of that when I do more of the mechanical. I'll probably save some of the other things like the knives and the anvil for a separate video. But at least you can see from the clean, it didn't make a whole lot of difference. Just basically knocked the lichen off and a fair bit of the oil. But the original green, so these came in yellow and green, this particular model. That's kind of like a John Deere green. That's the color that it originally was. Anyways, I'll take you through all the pieces, but it didn't do as good as I thought. I was kind of hoping I'd take off more of the black paint, make my job easier. But I got a fair bit of work to do. Just knocked off a fair bit of the grease. See the engine a little bit better, but a lot more work, at least from running it for information. Basically did, I don't know, 3-4 trailer loads, maybe 40-50 trees about 3 inches to 5 inches in diameter. Didn't really want to go that big. Some was softer, but it worked great. Like I said, the chips were poor because of the anvil being worn. So this one's got a 4-side anvil. It's basically a steel plate, and it's been I'll just show you where that is. That is located right there. Lighting's probably poor. Those 3 bolts hold on, and this is the adjustment to move it back and forth. So it took a look inside, and it's all rounded over. So I just decided to get a new one. It can be built up with weld, which I'll probably do, but that'll be a separate video in itself. Anyhow, so I decided to take the oil bath off. It's a quick and easy thing, and change the oil out. The screw is basically it's a mechanical connection, mechanical clamp. You tighten this up, which I got to straighten. Oh, sorry. So you unscrew this little key to the oil bath, drop it down if I can with one hand, and there's your oil bath. So just regular 10W30 oil, same as the engine oil, but this stuff looks bad. There is got to be a 1/4 inch of sludge in the bottom of that. That is crazy. That takes like 5 seconds. Now what I should do is clean out the screen here, but for now and what that would involve is just basically pull the this assembly, so it's got this a steel screen in there, and then rinsing that with some cleaning fluid, sliding it down, or disassembling it or disconnecting it from the mount here, and running some cleaning fluid down on the inside. Air's drawn through, down through the bottom, and then out the outside through the oil, and then the stainless steel screen, and it goes into the intake. Really straightforward. My Jeepster's got the same thing. So I'm going to start by cleaning this out. That's just ridiculous. So here's the oil bath, and you would not have believed what I found. This sits in the bottom, like this. I was wondering why it was so weighty, because I figured, oh, it must be really heavy metal. This bottom pan here, when I pull it off, was completely full of dirt. So it's just basically there's a 1/4 inch of dirt in here, and there's a 1/2 inch of dirt in the bottom. So you got it all cleaned out. I found a piece of the filter element, so I'm going to have to take the filter element apart and clean it out. It seems like it's not got a lot of dirt in it, but it needs to be rinsed out. And pretty straightforward. Oil level line, top it up, 10W30, same oil that's used everywhere. It's gonna let it get down here a little bit. For most of you, this is gonna seem ridiculous to even film this, but surprised how bad this was. That looks about it there. It's basically just below. I probably put a bit too much in that, but it should be just to this level line here. Yeah, it looks like I'm about a 1/4 inch too high. And that's it. Slide it back on and you're done. Thank you all for watching. Like I said, this is a short little video, but I figured I'd probably get in a barn find cleaning in there for this for the series of them as well. But I'll be going in a lot more detail on this, going through the different types of repairs. Got a few things in mind. I kind of want to get things going back the way they were supposed to be. Probably a lot of people wouldn't do it, but some of the slop on the controls is annoying. The wear in the anvil is a must. That's just normal maintenance, and it just makes the motor work harder. They say go back in the motor and just double check things, but it ran great. And the oil is really clean. Cleaning the sludge out of the oil pan, that's probably helped a whole lot. The rest is just relatively routine things and taking care of a lot of wear that's not been put in the machine over its lifetime. Anyhow, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this little short video. And if you haven't, please subscribe.